Hello everyone, welcome to this video where we are gonna see how are volcanoes formed. In today's video, we're gonna learn more about what is a volcano, what's the volcano anatomy, where are the volcanoes found mostly, and how are volcanoes formed, of course. Going ahead, let's understand the basic definition of what a volcano is. It's, in a layman's term, a volcano is an opening in the Earth's surface through which lava, volcanic ash, and gases escape. In ancient times, it was also said that volcanoes are under the control of the gods. In fact, the word volcano comes from Vulcan, the Roman god of fire. Today, there are almost 1,500 potentially active volcanoes worldwide. 169 out of these are in the United States itself. Now that we understand in a layman's term what's the definition of a volcano, let's understand the anatomy of a volcano. So the structure, or I would say the internal design, mostly is same in all of the volcanoes. So let's understand through this graphic representation of what exactly are the parts in a volcano and how similar or what are the similarities which we see when we go ahead when we are discussing about the volcanoes. So in all of the volcanoes, we would find the common is the magma chamber, which is found in the bottom part of any of the active volcanoes. Then we have the magma, which is also available or which is also present in every type of volcano. Then we have the lava flow. We have the ash cloud which comes out from the volcano. We have the vent from which the lava flows out. We have the old layers of lava on top of the volcanoes. And then of course we have the Earth's crust. So these are the main things which are available in all of the volcanoes, I could say. Going ahead, let's see where are volcanoes found. As we know, the lithosphere is the outermost layer that surrounds the Earth. It consists of the crust and part of the mantle. This is broken into extremely large slabs called tectonic plates. For example, the North American plate includes the most of the North America, Greenland, and part of Siberia. These move around the ductile layer beneath the surface. The Earth's surface is majorly divided into 7 tectonic plates. Volcanoes are mostly found between these tectonic plates where these plates meet or the plates' boundaries. About 75% of Earth's active volcanoes are around the ring of the fire. This is a stretch of 40,000 kilometer chain of volcanoes and seismically active sites that circles the edge of the Pacific Ocean. There are 15 countries which are around or surrounded along with this ring of fire. They are Indonesia, New Zealand, Papua New Guinea, Philippines, Japan, Canada, Guatemala, Mexico, Chile, United States, Antarctica, Solomon Islands, Peru, and Russia. Just to let you guys know, I haven't arranged it based on the continent. I thought just to put across the countries so that we're all at least aware of what countries are across the ring of fire. So now that we know that where mostly are the volcanoes found, let's understand how the volcanoes are formed. As we discussed, the volcanoes are mostly formed across the boundaries of the tectonic plates, but there are different ways how these are formed. There are 4 different ways which we're going to discuss ahead in the video. The island arcs, the hotspots, the spreading centers, and the Continental Arc. The first is the island arc. What happens in an island arc is it's the type of volcanoes which are formed because of the subduction process between 2 tectonic plates. So what happens in these type of volcano formation is one of the tectonic plates subducts or descends under the other tectonic plate. So what happens because of this is during this subduction process, the water from the subducting plate, which is this plate, it driven upward just because of the pressure which is formed by the subducting tectonic plate while it is going down. The water is driven up, and what happens is it lowers the melting point of the mantle wedge, and which in turn forms the magma. The magma then will rise and leak into the crust, forming a volcano. This process can create a chain of volcanic islands. So what happens here is we can have multiple volcanic islands formed in this process. For examples, we have the Japanese islands, which would have been formed because of this way of volcanic formation. The second form is called the hotspots. About 5% of all known volcanoes form in the middle of plates, not at their edges. These intraplate volcanoes, as it is within the same plate, are caused by hotspots, unusually the hot areas deep under the earth. The high heat and the lower pressure at the base of the lithosphere facilitates the melting of the rock. This melt, which is called as the magma, then rises through the cracks and erupts to form volcanoes. As the plate moves slowly across a hotspot, a chain of volcanoes or the volcanic islands can form. The islands of Hawaii and Samoa were formed in this way. These plates move about 5 centimeters a year, which is very less, and that's why it's a very slow process. The third form is the spreading centers. The rift volcanoes are generally formed by these types of spreading center volcanic types. So what happens is in these particular types, the plates move away from each other, in turn which it decreases the pressure on the underlying mantle, allowing it to rise, melt, and then which in turn forms the magma. The spreading centers can be found under the sea or on the land. So here we can see it is on the land, and when spreading center develops within the continents, they form new plate boundaries and trigger volcanic activity. For example, they say this phenomena would have created the East Africa's volcanic Great Rift Valley. Similarly, when it is under the sea, once the molten rocks harden up, it forms the sea floor. This process can also form volcanic islands. The number 4 is the Continental Arc. When two plates come together, one of the plates may slide under another in a process called subduction. Here we see the continental crust and the ocean crust. The ocean crust has a subducting tectonic plate which is under the continental tectonic plate. So heat from deep in the earth melts the rock in the descending plate, and at the same time the water is driven from the subducting slab into the overlying mantle wedge, lowering the melting point of the mantle and melting it to form the magma. Then the magma bursts across, forming a volcano, and in this process there is a chain of volcanoes which can form parallel to the trenches. Subduction volcanoes tend to be the explosive stratovolcanoes. Hundreds of volcanoes rise from subduction zones encircling the Pacific Ocean. This famous belt is known as the Ring of the Fire, which we saw in our previous part of the video. These are the different forms how the volcano eruption happens. Now that we understand the definition of a volcano, the anatomy of a volcano, and the different reasons why the volcanic eruptions happen, let's see what are the benefits which we get out of these eruptions. I do understand that volcanic eruptions can cause death and widespread devastation. However, they can also bring benefits to us. The valuable mineral deposits like gold, aluminum, and nickel are formed because of these eruptions. The volcanic ash make our soils very much fertile. The geothermal energy Much of Iceland's energy comes from geothermal sources. The lava flows creates new land. In 2018, a new land appeared off the coast of Hawaii as a result of lava from Kilauea eruptions. So yeah, they do have benefits for us. That's it in today's video about the volcanoes. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. In this channel, I'll be making videos on some known and unknown facts. If you like this video, please like, share and subscribe to the channel. Thank you.